Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Catherine Milleron, and this is my daughter,
Hi, I'm Gina.
and this is Make It Make Sense. So, in continuation of my last video, I wanted to bring my daughter on here because as I was discussing about racism and how much it is so apparently prevalent in our current administration, I thought I'd bring her on here and we can discuss some of our experiences that we've had throughout the years. And this is my daughter, and we are part of the marginalized community as women, and we have to fight for our rights as women and as brown people, because that is what this administration wants to um, eliminate. That's their goal, whether you believe it or not. What they are doing with our immigrants is genocide because they want to get rid of the brown people. They try to sugarcoat it. They try to make it look like that they're only targeting criminals. That is not true. It's not true at all. They're not targeting just criminals. They're targeting anybody that's brown. So that's what people need to realize and need to understand. That this is what is happening in America today. But I'm very encouraged by what's happened this past week. I'm very encouraged by even Republicans who are standing up and speaking out against what is happening. And the town halls that the Congress people are that they're doing in their hometowns. I've heard some of the recordings of these town halls, and a lot of these people are Republicans. They're not okay with what's happening. They're not okay with it. So that is very encouraging. What do you think, Gina? We should pause it. So there is a protest happening. Take my glasses off because the lights reflect on my glasses. So there's a protest happening on March 14th. And if you don't follow Jessica Denson, I recommend following her on YouTube. And it is called, their website is nowdc.org is the name of the website. The protest is on March the 14th in DC, and we are going to the march. We're going to the protest. So if any of you are able to make it, it's on a Friday, so it'll be it should be an easy day to take off, and then you've got the weekend coming up, so you can not have to be in a big rush to get back home. For us, it's a 9-hour drive, but we're gonna go, and we want to be there for this protest. So again, it's nowmarch.org. So go there, and they are in the planning phases of this. So they're going to send out more information. There's a form you fill out on the website with your email address and your information, and they will update you as they get more details. So I highly recommend doing that if you can, if you're able to. So anyway, because we got to keep fighting. We got to fight against this regime and against this. As she says it, she said we should normalize. What Jessica Denson said is we should normalize that this is an illegal president and he should not even be in office.
That's true.
Yes. And she said we need to normalize that. And she wishes that more news media stations were independent news media, not mainstream media, but she wishes that more independent media was making it normalized that he is an illegal president.
I mean, not just independent media, but the media in general.
Right.
I mean, since he was campaigning to be president, I mean,
right.
It should have been stopped then because he started an insurrection. Like, he should have been disqualified a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why he was able to even proceed with um, his campaign and trying to become president is beyond me. I have no idea why that was even allowed to be a thing. But and along the way, there should have been so many other things that should have stopped him from running. But here we are.
Here we are, y'all. Here we are.
Great. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah. I was in my car on the way here to my daughter's house, and I was listening to 90s music, and My Heart Will Go On from Celine Dion came on, and I was thinking about the 90s. I was thinking about Titanic, and I said, take me back to a simpler time and a simpler place. Because for those of us that really care and are really passionate about our democracy and saving our country, this is a daily struggle. Daily. It's daily. I think about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, I guess I can't say 24 hours because I do sleep. But as soon as I get up in the morning, I'm going on YouTube to see what the latest news is for the day. As soon as I get up.
Honestly, sleep is my only escape.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping very well at night.
Mhm.
I usually sleep well at night, but I'm glad this hasn't affected my sleep because it is the only time that I can go away into the astral or whatever and not think about any of this stuff, which is
Yeah.
it's a lot, man. It's so much.
It is. It's a lot, and it's like I said, it's daily. I think about it all day, every day, and I know she does too. And it's a whole different life. I think about how much life for us has changed since November, since the election.
I mean, you were talking about being nostalgic. I was just talking to my husband the other day about the early 2000s nostalgia videos that I'm a millennial, a young millennial, and seeing those videos of the games we used to play and the pop culture and things, and it's so nice to think about, but also it makes me really sad because I'm man, we didn't know it, but that was probably the happiest time in our lives.
Yeah,
and I hate to say that, I really do, and I really hope that there are happier times ahead, but right now it's just hard to perceive anything like that, which I hate to say, but that's how I feel. So,
Well, I mean, in a word of encouragement, I do believe, from my perspective and from a lot of other people's perspective, is that this regime is going to fall and it's not sustainable because everything that they are trying to do is being fought in courts and being fought. And, the people are rising up. And I'm really glad to see that finally something has actually, woken up the Republicans. And what they're not okay with, which they shouldn't have been okay with any of this, which is fine, but they're finally waking up because of his loyalty to Vladimir Putin and trying to force the Ukraine to take a deal where they get nothing and basically they're surrendering and they don't get their land and they don't get to join NATO and they have to give up everything they fought for. So we all know that this rise and this this push to support Russia and Vladimir Putin has crossed the line with a lot of people. Because for those of us who grew up in the 80s, we remember the Cold War. We remember the threats of, being attacked by Russia. And the funniest thing in the world, the funniest thing was in school, we had drills for if we were attacked. And so we would have to go into the hallway and we would have to sit on the floor and we'd have to put our heads down in front of the lockers in the hallway. And that was supposed to protect us from the nuclear bombs. that were coming from Russia. So for those of us who lived during the Cold War, we remember the Soviet Union very well. So this is what has triggered the Republicans to be like, no, 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 this is too much. So now we're starting to see.
Wow, great job.
Yeah.
Republicans. It took you long enough. Like,
Yeah, in my last video, I talked about Hillary Clinton and what she said during the 2016. It was the third debate that she had with Donald Trump. And she basically mapped out everything that he's doing now. And I just thought that was fascinating. And I had to point that out because, it's like so many people saw what was coming. And we did try to warn everyone. We really did. Did we not?
it's just because women were saying it. I feel like that people didn't want to listen. People wanted to call Hillary Clinton all kinds of names and like, I don't know, like the freaking email thing. Like, I feel like that was a bunch of bullshit. Like, I really do. Like, was she a likable person? Like, who cares? She was way more qualified for the job of president.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious. She was way more qualified. And we dealt with this same scenario with Kamala. Like, and Kamala was a way more likable person than Hillary Clinton.
But she was a woman and she was black, so we couldn't have that, right?
No.
A woman and black?
No.
Oh,
That's too much.
we can't have that.
We can't have it.
So now we would rather have
That's unspeakable.
a dictatorship and the fall of our democracy and our country burned to the ground than have a black woman in charge.
A king.
Oh, yeah.
We love it. It's great.
But you have to understand that what they didn't plan for when they tried, with their attempt to take over our country and their attempt to create this dictatorship, is they didn't plan for the American people to be who we are. Because we're not going to stand for this. We're just not. We're not going to stand for it. We're not scared. I mean, I can tell you, I don't know how y'all feel, but I am not scared of Donald Trump and I am not scared of Elon Musk, either one. Elon Musk is, people try to say that he is a genius. And I'm like, he's not a genius. He's taken information from other people and made money off of that. But he's got a really serious drug problem. So, I heard tell that he was found in some of these government offices that him and his Doge team, and I put that in quotations, Doge team, because we all know it's...
You mean the little boys?
Yeah, the little boys. Him and the little boys took over. Elon Musk was found on the couch sleeping in his own puke because he probably just, did too many drugs. And, so it's hard for me. I mean, I know that there's a lot happening, but it is very hard for me to take him or Donald Trump seriously at all because they absolutely did not plan for the resistance, and resistance is what they're getting in every turn. And so the American people aren't going to stand for this. So again, I will encourage you to do your best to show up on March 14th in Washington, D.C., because we are going to march, we are going to protest. And
look, I want to say too about because I am also concerned. Like, it's not, I understand if you are scared in any way to go out and protest. I'm scared. Okay. I saw what went down with the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. I understand the implications of this, like, and the risks involved, but at the same time, we've got to do something. We can't.
We do.
Like, let those fears stop us from doing stuff like this, because it's going to take nothing short of us using our physical bodies to occupy spaces and to like make our voices heard. Like, we can't. We can't fight this from the couch. We just can't. Like,
we have to show up.
We can boycott. We can do all those things, and those things are great. They really are, and they're working. But like, this is big. like, this is really, really big. It's bigger than any of us have ever lived through or experienced, and we have got to show up.
Yes.
And it is scary. And like, I'm not going to discount that at all. Like,
Right.
it is scary, especially for Black and brown people who, you know, you are, and when you're in a public space like that, in a situation like that, you automatically have a target on your back. You do. I mean, that's just the way it is. But you know, we've just got to do this.
Yes, we do. And I always imagined myself, I guess this is the first time I've ever been faced with the real possibility of harm being brought to me for standing up and speaking out. But I've always imagined myself as a Katniss Everdeen or a June Osborne. So when I watched the first Hunger Games movie, well, I mean, I watched all of the Hunger Games movies, but I also read all the books. And Katniss Everdeen was one of my favorite characters that was ever written. So in the first movie, when her sister is named as a tribute, she volunteers in place of her sister. And I have a younger sister, and I told her, I said, if that was me and you, I would volunteer as tribute in your place. I wouldn't have let you go. And as those movies went on and she stood up against the powers that be, and then when I watched The Handmaid's Tale and everything that June Osborne did to stand up against those powers that be and the resistance and everything, I was like, that would be me. And then I realized that really is me. And I know everybody is different. And I realized that.
Well, I just started rewatching The Handmaid's Tale too. I've seen all the seasons, but I just started rewatching it. But I was telling my husband when I was rewatching it, because you know, I was like, I identify with June a lot, but I realized that when I started rewatching it, I am like a mixture of June and Moira, because Moira was like, she was the one who was like, you know, like, this is what I told you what was going to happen, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. Like,
Right.
you know, she's real thick-skinned about it. And June, at the same time, you know, in the flashback scenes, she's like kind of taken aback and like, well, they can't do this, like, kind of thing, and like kind of in disbelief. And she was a little late to the game on what was actually happening. Like, she didn't believe it. Like, I'm definitely a mixture of the two. But
yeah. But we've realized that we do have a lot of fight in us. And in my last video, I talked about what my daughter said about her ancestors. And it is ingrained in brown people to fight because that's what they've had to do their entire existence. And it's a shame. It really is. We've got all this, they're trying. They're really trying. But I've always said, and I'm going to encourage you again, that there are more of us than there are of them. They have no power. I'm talking about the racist and the Nazis, and they're trying to promote this whole Nazi idea and this white supremacy idea. This is what they want.
I mean, can we just from now on just call them Nazis?
Yeah, they are. They're Nazis.
Because, like, how many Sig Heils does it take before you...
How many Nazi salutes does it take? Right.
They're Nazis.
They're Nazis.
Yeah.
And I have to say, though, that not all... I don't believe all Republicans are Nazis.
No, they're like dollar store Nazis.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're like dollar store Nazis. And they have no power. They think they do, but they don't. And like I said in my last video, I really someone needs to explain to me what is so supreme about white people. I don't get that, and I never will, because it just doesn't make any sense to me, because I know my history, and I know that the white man came over to America and they stole land and they ran the natives off of their land and they raped their women and they killed, and that's what they did to get what they wanted. So I don't understand what is supreme about that. I really don't. And I'm not saying that there's not like white people that can achieve things in life. I mean, as anybody can. Like, we all can achieve things in life regardless of who we are and what color we are or where we came from. but I don't understand this whole term of white supremacy. I don't understand it. I really don't, because I don't believe there's anything supreme about white people. And I will tell you a story. So there was a guy that I had. It was several years ago. Okay, and I went on a date with this guy, and I really didn't feel him too much. I wasn't like really into him or whatever, but he seemed cool or whatever. So then we were talking, and I told him in conversation that I had a daughter that was biracial. And he said to me, if I would have known that you had a daughter that was biracial, I would have never went out with you. And he said, the white race is the supreme race, and you shouldn't mix with other races.
What is this story? I've never heard this one before.
I know. So
wait,
I don't remember the guy's name. Don't ask me his name, because I don't remember, because he's insignificant to me. So he said this to me. And at the time, the biggest reason I wasn't interested in this guy is because he was basically living in, he tried to describe it as, I don't know what he described it as, but I'm pretty sure it was a halfway house. And he had like several DUIs, and he had been in all this trouble with the law. And, so I was like, yeah, no, this ain't going to work. So then I said to him, I said, can you tell me what is supreme about you? Because it sounds to me like the life you're living is pretty pathetic. And I just don't see how you're supreme to anyone. And I pointed out all of his shortcomings to make him understand that there was nothing supreme about him. And like I said, there's nothing supreme about the white race. Okay, MAGAs, there's nothing supreme about the white race. Nothing. We're all just people. And I don't know how, I think a lot of people understand that. It's just that they're trying to make it look like that all these people are these racist and want to get rid of anyone that's not white. But that is a small minority that really feels that way. But my point is I called him out, and I said other things too that I'm not going to say on this video, because I cussed him out real good. And he came back and tried to apologize and tried to get me to go out with him again.
What?
Yeah. Tried to say that I made him see the light and all this. And I was like, I'm not going out with you because you might try to have some of your white supremacist friends,
what the hell?
Unalive me. So I was afraid of being unalived. Well, yeah.
More so.
I mean, you were grown by then, but the point is that, yeah, you were grown.
Oh my God.
So I was just like, yeah, I don't trust you because you might have me taken out of the earthly plane because I have a biracial daughter. And so I wasn't scared of him, put it that way, but I wasn't going to take my chances either. I'm not stupid. But this is what we mean, my point is about this whole like white supremacy. What is that? Can someone explain it to me? Because I don't think there's anything supreme about white people. I really don't. I mean, I just don't.
Mom, I don't think anybody's going to have an answer for you.
Yeah, I guess they're not. No. I don't get it. I just want to make that point that there really is nothing supreme about white people.
I think that most people understand this.
I think they do.
Sane people understand.
I think they
understand
do.
it.
I think they do.
And like, she's not saying that like you need to be ashamed of yourself because you're white.
No,
like at all. Like, come on.
Although I am, but
Oh, stop. Stop it.
My brother talks about how we're going to have to atone for what we did, and I'm like, well, we personally didn't do it, but he talks about how he's got a fear that when it comes time for, I don't know, what he considers Judgment Day, that we're going to have to atone for what our people did in the past. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, he has said that. He has said that, but
he's okay. Well, he feels very ashamed, obviously.
Like I said on my last video, it's Black people that built this country, and I don't care what anybody says. You should be admiring and putting them on a pedestal because they built this country, and we have gained so much from their contribution to our nation. That's all we've done is gain. We haven't lost anything. So, y'all need to just stop with this whole white supremacy thing because it makes no sense. But again, it goes back to the fact that most people aren't standing for this, and the resistance is rising, and people are coming against this. And I'm very glad to see it happening. And I do not see this regime lasting. I do not see it. It's not sustainable. And I think the regime is going to fall. I can't tell you when.
Man, can you believe it's been a month?
It's been a month, y'all, and it feels like it's been 10 years.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, I feel like I've aged
Yeah.
10 years.
Me too. Me too.
Last month.
I know. It's been a month. It feels like it's been years. But we're going to get through it. You know, we live in Kentucky, and during COVID.
Well, I live in Indiana.
Well, yeah, we're in Indiana right now, but I live in Kentucky, and she was born in Kentucky. But every day during COVID, our governor, our dear, sweet, amazing governor, Andy Beshear.
Love you.
Yes, we love you, Uncle Andy.
I just sit here on the other side of the river and just like, I'm so sad that we don't have Andy Beshear over here.
I know.
I
know. He's great.
Fucking
and he is a Democrat.
Braun.
I know. But, you know, even though Kentucky is, they call, you know, it is a red state, which makes me feel ashamed, but we do have a Democratic governor, and he's amazing. And so every day during COVID, came on at 5:00 and went live every day. Every day, I made sure I was tuned in and watched him.
I did too.
Yes.
I did too.
And he would always say, we will get through this together. And he had a hashtag Together Kentucky, and he just kept saying, we'll get through this together. And that applies now. We will get through this together. We need to stay united. We need to stay in the light, and we need to encourage each other, because in my opinion, it may not seem like it to a lot of people, but I feel like this has brought unity, that a lot of people are coming together against what is happening and unifying people. And I love to see that, because that's what we need.
And please keep speaking up.
Yes.
No matter, I don't give a shit who you piss off. On Facebook or whatever.
Or TikTok or whatever.
Whatever. Like, I'm talking about people who are in your life, your family members, whatever. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. Speak up against it. And, like, if they have something to say, click, block, whatever. Like, you don't need to... hard line in the sand right now. Like, you don't need to associate with them. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, it's sad, but, like, if they are aligning with any of these things that are going on right now, that is a problem. Like, that's a moral issue. And, like, you can't be, like, afraid to just be like, yeah, I can't associate with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is what it is. I mean, you chose, and this is what you're choosing, and that's freaking, I don't know if I can cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can. We're on YouTube.
That's fucking despicable.
It is despicable.
And
it is.
Like, don't let anybody tell you otherwise either.
Right.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like,
because we're not normalizing anything that they're doing.
Hell no.
We're not normalizing it. None of it's normal.
The gaslighting.
Nothing that's happening is normal.
The gaslighting stops. It stops.
It's not normal. You know, this drug-addled billionaire that's running our country, because that's who's running the country. If y'all didn't know, Elon Musk is running the country.
I'm pretty sure they're aware at this point.
And none of this is normal. Okay, none of it. So we're not normalizing any of it. We're not normalizing the Nazi salutes at their little convention, white supremacist Nazi gathering they had. We're not normalizing any of that.
And they were Nazi salutes.
Yes.
You saw what you saw.
Yeah. You saw what you saw. Nazi salutes all the way around. Steve Bannon, Elon Musk, whoever. It doesn't matter. It's not like...
Yeah, I heard that there were more, but I don't know.
Yeah, there was, I think, but I don't know who did it. But anytime you see it, that's it. That's what it is. But, you know, we as Americans, we're stronger than that. We are not going to stand for it. And we're going to fight.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
We are. We're tired. We're
It's too
tired.
damn bad, isn't it?
But we got to keep fighting. So
I hate it.
if you can, in conclusion to this video,
I hate it here.
yeah, make America great again. Ah! It's not so great right now. Anyway, March 14th, guys, if you can. So marchnow.org. So you need to sign up, and if you can show up, it would be great. We're going to be there.
Yeah, and I'll also be scared too. So
Yeah, well, we might be a little scared, but I do believe that our military will stand with us. I don't know about the police. I'm not trying to can't really say about the police, but I do believe our military will not harm American citizens. They will not. And so we are going to be okay. It's all right. I mean, everybody's different, but I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, give me liberty or give me death. So if I have to die for the cause, I will. And I know not everybody feels that way, but I am a June Osborne and I am a Katniss Everdeen, so I will die for the cause. But I don't want to. I would like to be here to see my granddaughter grow up. So, and I would like to be here to see our country turn back to, I'd like to just get some kind of normal, I don't really have any faith in either party, to be honest. I have no faith in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party.
So long before we get to any semblance of normal.
I have faith in the Bernie Sanders Party, and if we could make a party that's the Bernie Sanders Party,
he's a Democratic Socialist, Mom.
Well, okay, but let's just call it the Bernie Sanders Party, because that's who I have faith in, is Bernie Sanders, because he makes the most sense about what we need, especially with healthcare and Medicare for all, and also the Green New Deal, and trying to do something about climate change, because obviously our current administration is completely ignoring that fact that it is happening. And, they don't want to listen to science, just like he did during COVID and was telling everybody to inject themselves with bleach. And
okay, I want to bang my head against the wall.
Yeah.
I should probably
okay.
Stop soon.
All right. So everybody have a good night, and we will see you soon, and just keep fighting. March 14th. March 14th. Just remember, march on DC. If you can make it, please make it.